Hello everybody, welcome to Need for Productions. I have a pretty cool video for you today. Today's video is going to be a review on a recent purchase that I had made of a camera. As a videographer, I'm always looking for ways to improve my live streams and my filming. I've always been looking for ways to give my audience, our viewers, a better experience as far as the audio goes, the video goes, and things. And so I've had my eyes set on this camera for quite some time. This is what the OBSBOT Tail Air 1. OBSBOT company had just released a second one, the OBSBOT Tail Air 2, and this is the first one. And so this video is going to be a review of me talking about some pros and some cons, some of my thoughts and opinions and things on the camera and what I think about it. You know, there's a lot of things on it that I know now that I wish I would have known back then. You know, I didn't do a lot of thorough investigations or research on the camera before I purchased it. That's my fault. I probably should have, but at the same time, there's a lot of videos out there. Don't get me wrong about the OBSBOT Tail Air, but there's not a lot of videos. And if you're somebody like me and doesn't want to go pouring through hundreds of videos to look at the pros and the cons of the videos, you're kind of, yeah, there's a lot. Let's just say that I wish I would have done a lot more investigation or research on the camera before I purchased it. But that doesn't mean I hate it. It doesn't mean I hate it. It means that there's just some things about it that I wish I would have known. And that's coming from a person like myself that is a live streamer, a filmer for sports and things like that. So if you are somebody like me that does a lot of live streaming events like weddings and sports and stuff, then this is going to be a good video for you to take a look at and to watch. Maybe I would say something or suggest something or mention something that would be important for you to know. You know what I mean? Yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. As far as the purchasing itself on the website, it wasn't that bad. It was actually a pretty smooth and easy process. The website is organized pretty good. I was able to find the Tail Air pretty easily, and I was able to look at a lot of the information on their website and that kind of thing. Checking out wasn't that bad either. So as far as the checking out on their website goes, there's no complaints. I say thumbs up on their website and the checkout process. It wasn't that bad. The price is also pretty good too. I'm not going to mention the price on here, but I think for what I'm getting, is a pretty good price, and I think it's definitely well worth it. The delivery time it took to get to where I live was not that bad. I live in a small rural town in southeast Arizona, and their warehouse is located in New York. So the time it took to get here from New York, it was roughly about 4 to 5 business days. So that, for me anyways, that's not that bad. There's been a lot of times where I've ordered something and I have to wait like a week or two, to get those things. So 4 to 5 business days, that's nothing too bad or drastic for me. The main business itself, OBSBOT, is located out in Hong Kong, and there's a lot more behind that I will talk about in a little while in this video. But as far as the delivery goes, that's a thumbs up too. Not that bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box opening. Now, before we watch the box opening video, I do want to apologize in advance. I recorded the box opening using my glasses. Yeah, I say glasses. I have what they call the meta glasses that has a little camera on the glasses, and I didn't do that much research or I haven't tried recording on the glasses before I did the box opening. And so, in fact, I think that was the very first time I've ever recorded a video on the glasses, was the box opening. And obviously, as you could see in this video, I didn't do that good of a job. And so I do apologize in advance. I can't go back and rewrap everything and put the plastic back on and redo it all over again. What's done is done. And so don't judge me too harshly on the box opening, but let's go ahead and watch that. All right, we got that wrapping off here. Let's get this opened up if we can. It's a lot smaller than I thought. Okay. There we go. We got a set of instructions. We're going to need those. Comes with a nice case. I really do like that a lot. I really do like the fact that it comes with a nice little hard case here to put it in. I have another camera that I use for my live streams for sports and things, and it does not have a hard case. I wish I had a hard case for it. So the fact that this comes in a hard case is really awesome. I really do like that a lot. There we go. So that is the camera. Let's see if I can put it back in there without breaking it. I think I put that back in there wrong. It's supposed to be facing down. And then it comes with some cables. I'm assuming this is a micro HDMI. Nope, that is USB-C. And this, I believe, from the research I've done on it, is for the USB-C. Let me plug that in. And this is what receives the video. So that is the camera. I'll do a little test run of the camera a little later on. And then here we go. We got the remote control. Alright, let's open this guy up. This has instructions as well. Let's put this instructions with that. And here's the remote control. It looks like a little Joy-Con. Pretty nice. And then USB-C cable. Alright, well there's the box opening. And we'll give this a test later on to show you guys. So what you can see by the video, the box opening, is that it has a lot of cool things about it. You know, I really definitely do like the hard case that it comes in. You know, it sits in the hard case, really nice and snug. It has those snug. Sorry. It also has some cool, nice adapters in there that you could use as well. There's some additional parts and things that you could purchase on their website if you wanted to, such as a power base, an Ethernet adapter, and things like that. You could check that out on their website if you wanted to. But the camera is definitely a really nice camera. I'm very impressed by it. It looks really sleek. You know, it's about the size of my hand, which is not that bad. You know, the size is definitely really good. I like it a lot. It feels heavy. It definitely feels heavy in the hand. Not heavy, but expensive heavy. And so it doesn't feel like it's cheaply made. It definitely feels like it's made using some pretty good you know, material and things. It has a 3.5 millimeter jack on there, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. So that way I could plug in my own microphone if I wanted to. You know, as you can tell, I use a lot of my own microphones, you know, such as shotgun mics and things like that. And so that is pretty handy, especially because of this reason. They have a built-in mic, all right? It has a built-in microphone on there, but I noticed that when I was using it outside, you know, it was kind of windy on that day. That wind blowing on there made a big difference. It was created a lot of wind noise. Let's just put it that way. And so you definitely, if you're going to be using it in a windy situation, especially if you're like in an office or something like that, and you have a fan blowing or something, you might want to, you know, use a microphone with what they call those dead cats or whatever. Use a microphone that has noise cancellation or something other than that built-in mic is kind of what I'm getting at. It has a USB-C cable port on there, obviously, that I'm plugged into right now for the power. I do like the LED lights. The LED lights are pretty cool. That indicates the power. Right now you can see that it's at full power. If it's just blinking one light, it means it's less than 10%. Two lights, that's more than 10%, so on and so forth. You get the idea. So it's I do like the how it shows what the battery power is at using with those LED lights. It has a micro SD card slot on there, which is needed. You do have to have a micro SD card in order to operate it. I think I may be wrong on that, but the app kept yelling at me every time I tried to use the app without one in there. So It does have a mini HDMI port on there as well, and I do like that a lot. I use the mini HDMI all the time, or HDMI connections all the time, rather than wireless and things like that. It has NDI, for those that are familiar with NDI. It has that in there. If you're not familiar with it, I'd say go ahead and do your own research on NDI. There's a lot involved with NDI. But it basically provides a better way of receiving the video and that kind of thing. So yeah, you know, the aesthetics of this camera is pretty awesome. It's pretty cute. It reminds me of that little what is it? That little lamp on those animated movies, you know, that moves and kind of things. It reminds me of that. Don't ask me why. Anyways, it reminds me a lot of that little animated lamp. It's got a built-in magnet on the bottom. I have no idea why, but it has like a magnet built into it. I stuck it on the side of my fridge or whatever, a metal fridge, and it stuck to it pretty easily. It didn't slide down from the weight or anything like that, so it is pretty strong-ish. I don't think it's intended to stick onto a pole or anything metal. I think it's intended for other reasons, such as a charging base that they sell separately, that sort of thing, because it does have those little connection prongs or whatever on the back, and that again is for that little base that I'm talking about. Also has a hole in there for you to mount it to a tripod and that kind of thing. So it, yeah, it is a nice camera. I really am impressed. A thumbs up, especially for the looks of the camera, the feel of the camera, and that sort of thing. If there's anything down to say or anything bad to say about the camera and the physical camera itself, it's the fact that it's not weatherproof. It's not water resistant. It's not waterproof. I don't even think it's windproof, to be honest with you. What I mean by that is, as far as dust goes, I feel that you see these gaps here. I feel that, you know, on dusty days, you know, over a period of time, if you do a lot of recording outside like I do, you know, over time on dusty days, that dust and crap is going to get gummed up in there, and it's going to jam it, and it's not going to be able to turn as easy or whatever, and that sort of thing. And so I think it's designed to mostly be used indoors, not outdoors. So yeah, that's kind of a downside, a bummer to me, because again, I do a lot of live streaming outside, you know, outside events and things like that, like weddings and stuff. And so that was one of the main reasons why I purchased it, is so that I could use it outside. And again, I didn't do a lot of looking and digging into the camera before I purchased it. I'm an idiot, and I'm hoping that other people aren't idiots like me, and they're watching and taking some of these things I'm saying into consideration before you purchase it. So yeah, that's my review on the physical camera itself. Let's go ahead and talk about the app. The app is pretty nice. I do like the app a lot. Now, if you were to look at the app on like the Play Store, App Store, or whatever, you would see that the reviews are not all that good. I read a lot of those reviews, and you know, honestly, I didn't have any of the problems that they are having. So I don't know if they're using different devices or whatever the problem may be. I didn't have any of those issues or problems with the app. In fact, I found the app to be quite pleasant and not that bad at all. You know, getting it to recognize a camera was not an issue for me. It was able to detect it right out of the box, and was able to connect to it right away. I first connected to it via cellular. There's different options or methods to connect to it, to live stream or whatever. You could live stream via cellular, like your cell phone or data or whatever, or you could live stream via Wi-Fi, which is what I do here in the house, right? And I also have a Wi-Fi hotspot that I'll probably be using as well for live streaming and things, is using that Wi-Fi connection. But the app has got a lot of awesome features in the app. I found the app to, you know, as far as operating the camera within the app, to be really good, really easy. I didn't have any troubles at all. I didn't have to watch any tutorials or anything like that to figure out how to use the app. It was pretty straightforward and easy to understand as far as operating the camera and the features that it provides in the app. Speaking of operations, You could also operate the camera using the remote control. They sell remote control separately on their website, and I purchased it as a bundled deal, the camera and the remote, for a pretty good price. I really do like the remote control. I'm a fan of remote controls. And the reason for that is because, again, I live stream, and there's been lots of times where I don't want to, or I can't get up to go change the position of a camera, or fix a camera's zoom, or whatever the case may be, that kind of thing. So I really like using remote controls. I have one for this camera that will allow me to zoom in and zoom out and stuff, and that's kind of what this does. It has a zooming in features. You could turn it and that kind of thing via that method. It reminds me, it needs a charge. It has a USB-C charging thing on there. But not only that, the remote control also has a way to operate up to 3 cameras, from what I understand. I don't have 3 cameras to operate, but I do find that pretty cool. So if I ever wanted to get to, say 1 or 2 more Tail Airs, I could operate those cameras via just one remote control. I don't have to have 3 controllers or whatever. I could do it all from one remote control. I find that really awesome. You could just, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and that sort of thing. And so I could operate those cameras just from one controller. I like that. I love it. And so that's definitely, 2 thumbs up as far as the app goes, and the remote controller operating the camera. I really am impressed. And so far, the first impressions, the physical camera and the app and checking it out and everything is pretty good. I am very happy with it. Alright, so I went ahead and switched over to the OBSBOT camera now. I'm now recording on the OBSBOT camera itself, OBSBOT Tail Air, that is. And as you can tell, the quality is not that bad. I am really impressed with the quality of the camera. It looks really nice. To be honest with you, I think it's a lot better than my other camera that I have. My other camera that I have is a little Sony Handycam. It's a little cheap camera, but I don't need something too expensive or whatever for live streaming sports. I just need something simple and basic. But the quality of between the 2 cameras, as far as the definition goes and stuff, is definitely a lot better with the OBSBOT Tail Air, and so I am very impressed and pleased with the OBSBOT Tail Air, the quality of and everything. And that kind of leads me to some of the pros of the camera. The camera has a lot of things going for it, a lot of pros about it. Don't mind me, I'm just getting a list here. And so the high definition is one of them, and it's also easy to use. It's definitely easy to use as far as using the app, the built-in app and things on the phone. You can move it, and it's pretty easy to understand. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I didn't really need any instructions or anything to really understand how to operate it and to use it and things like that. As far as hands-free goes, I do like the fact that it has the AI tracking abilities. I have not talked about that yet. It does have the ability to track an individual or whatever via AI tracking. Also, by the way, has like hand gestures and things. You could do different hand gestures, holding up your hand and things like that to start, stop, record, so on and so forth. And so I think that's pretty cool too. It has a lot of awesome features, and they go above and beyond in making this hands-free. If you wanted to use it hands-free, if all you got to do is just press record, and it'll automatically track and record and follow and pretty much do everything for you. For somebody like me that needs something to use, like a AI assistant of a sort for my live streams, the OBSBOT Tail Air does that. If I'm recording say a wedding ceremony, and I have multiple cameras, including the OBSBOT, this will be an awesome addition to recording people walking around the ceremony and things like that. And so it's pretty cool. I am excited about using it for the hands-free kind of purposes and things like that. And as far as the price goes, it is affordable. I think for what you're getting, it's definitely worth the price. A lot of people may complain about the price and the cost. Oh, that's expensive. It's outrageous. And I would admit that even when I was looking at the price for the Tail Air 2, it was that looked pretty expensive as well. But the quality is there. It's I work at a business that where I sell products and sell things, and I always look at as far as selling things, is the quality there, does it match the price? You know what I mean? Are you getting what you pay for? And with this, in this case, yes, you're getting what you pay for. It has a lot of awesome features, like I said, such as the NDI, the tracking abilities, the gestures, hand gestures and things. Is pretty awesome. The battery power is not even that bad. From what I understand, it could last, without it being plugged in, it could last up to about maybe 2.5, 3 hours, depending on what features you're using, that kind of thing. So the battery power is pretty good too, from what I understand. I've only used it for just a couple days now, and so I can't really fully say that the battery power is awesome and phenomenal, but from what I could tell so far, it's not that bad. However, and this is where I get to the cons part, and I'm going to sound like a little crybaby here, and I apologize. The cons of the camera. The first and foremost is the customer service. The customer service is a thumbs down, probably 2 thumbs down for me. I'm not happy at all with the customer service. The reason for that, I've had a really bad experience with their customer service, is when I first got the camera, which was a couple weeks ago, in fact, it was about 2 weeks ago I got the camera, right? The camera that I received was defective. It would not charge anywhere past 3%. When I, after that box opening that you watched, I plugged it in to my laptop, and I didn't have a wall charger. I was at work at the time and I didn't have a wall charger, and so I plugged it into my laptop to charge. I've charged things before, like my phone and stuff, right? On my laptop, and it charged it just fine with no problem. But the laptop, yeah, I plugged it in and left it there for a few hours, and it didn't get anywhere past 3%. So I assumed something was wrong with the camera, with the laptop. And so when I got home, I plugged it into the wall charger. I used their cable and everything, and waited about 3 hours, and came back and found out that it still wasn't charged anywhere past 3%. And that's when I knew something was up, something was wrong with it, the camera. I tried different cables, different adapters, to no avail. It still wouldn't charge it at all past 3%, which is weird, And of course, I immediately emailed the company. They didn't have any other way, from what I could tell, no other form, no telephone, no other form or way for me to contact them. The only way I could contact them is via email. And the reason for that, I think, is because they're located in Hong Kong, which I found out. And I definitely don't want to call them over there in Hong Kong and that kind of thing. So, and that being said, they have 2 different time zones, or we're in 2 different time zones. It may be nighttime over there, one is daytime here, and so on and so forth. And so, as far as communicating to them goes, I had to literally wait 24 hours for a response, and then wait 24 hours for my response and things. And so it began a succession of emails to each other for over 2 weeks worth. The first week consisted of emails of us going back and forth about the issue with the camera. They had me do a video recording showing what's going on with the camera. I had to do side-by-side comparison showing that it was only flashing 1 LED light, which indicated it was less than 10%, and it also showing that the app showing 3%, and basically had to provide proof to them that it was defective. And that irritated me a lot. Again, I work at a business and where we sell products, and if our product is defective, we take the customer's word for give them the benefit of the doubt, and we send them a replacement to them, as well as sending what we call a call tag to them. We send them a little return slip where they could just put the defective product back in the box, slap that label on there, send it back to us, and they would have their new product also. So I was hoping that this company, OBSBOT, would do that for me, but they did not. They just wanted proof and a whole week's worth of emails back and forth to each other about how to make this exchange. And that leads me to another issue that I had with their customer service is I had to ship it back to them at my own expense, and that was very upsetting to me. I really did not like that, and a lot of you are probably going, "Oh, wow, no." Let me tell you, shipping something to Hong Kong, not to their warehouse, shipping something to their Hong Kong was about $160 for me to ship it to them. Yeah, there might be some cheaper ways or methods to ship it to them. I understand, but for me, it was about $160, and they wanted me to ship it to them. They would not send me, email me a return label or anything like that. I tried to get them to just send me a replacement with a return label, and I could just put their camera back in there and ship it back to them with that label. But nope, they said, you ship it to us, and then we'll send you the replacement. So they did offer to reimburse me for the shipping, which is fine. That was nice of them. Okay. But I just thought it was irritating and a problem that they would not send me a return label. And when I did do some reviews and things on the camera before I purchased it, I did come across a few instances similar to my situation and scenario. There were a few people saying that they've had issues also with the customer service and returning the camera back to them and things. So that was probably the biggest issue that I had with the OBSBOT so far. So again, returns, exchanges, it's a no-go. It's a thumbs down. If you have any issues or if you need to make a return on the camera, good luck. You're not going to have that much of a success with getting their cooperation as far as returns or exchanges go. It's going to be a headache, and it's going to take over about 2 weeks, which it did to me. It took about 2 weeks for me to finally get it and to start using it. And that's what I'm using right now, is that exchange, the new camera that they sent me. The battery power is definitely an issue-ish. I mentioned earlier that the battery power is pretty good, lasting 2.5 to 3 hours. It's not bad for such a small camera. That's actually pretty nice. But what I mean by the battery power is the fact that it won't continuously run while plugged in. What I mean, it's hard to explain. And the easiest way to explain that is yesterday is a good example. It was at less than 5% when I decided to start recording a video, and it was plugged in and it died. The battery power died, and so with it being plugged in, the battery still drains. And I am in fact, I'm in the process of going to the app right now, and so the app shows that the camera is at 95%, and I've been recording now for 30 minutes now or so. So 5%, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a huge deal breaker. It's not a huge problem. It just means that if I forget to charge my camera and it's less than 10%, and I go to a football game to live stream a football game, I'm pretty much screwed, because the camera is not going to last me that entire game on 5-10% battery power, more than likely. I have yet to try that out to see if that is true or not, but from what I could tell, it with it being plugged into a power source, it will not give you a continuous 24-hour recording. And again, a lot of you are probably going to give me a lot of hate comments on that. Let's give you a scenario, shall we? If you're wanting to use the camera as a security camera, let's say you put this on your shelf in your house and you want it to use it as a security camera that's running 24/7, 24 hours a day. Nope, you're not going to be able to do that. The battery will not last 24 hours with it plugged into the wall. At some point, it will drain, and you will have to probably turn it off to let it charge fully. So there's that. That's kind of what I'm getting at with that con. All right, the negative part. But again, it's not a deal breaker. It's not a huge issue. I just need to remember to charge the camera fully before I live stream something. It's not weatherproof. I've already talked about that. That is a bummer. I don't know if the OBSBOT Tail Air 2 is waterproof or not. I haven't really done a lot of research on it. I'm not planning or intending on purchasing that camera anytime soon, so I really don't know. Another major problem that I have is with the zoom. Along the same lines is filming outside, and so this is kind of a two topic kind of a thing that they go hand in hand, right? So again, I do a lot of filming outside, and if you're somebody like me that does a lot of filming outside or live streaming outside or whatever the case may be, this camera is not for you. I'm sorry if you had your hopes up and thought it would be an excellent camera for outside filming. It's not. It really isn't. I took it to a football field here locally where I live. They're building a new school here, and as you can tell in this video demonstration, the football field is not 100% complete. It's just a dirt field, and you guys are like, oh my gosh, what the heck happened to your football field? No, it's still being built, and I decided to just take it out to the field just to get an idea of how well it does, filming at a football field. I first took it into the press box there at the field, and behind a window, it does not do good at all. It has a tendency to focus on specks and dirt and things on the window rather than focusing on the outside of the window. There's times I may or may not add it to this video. I'm sorry if I don't, but there's I tried to focus on the football field, and it did well until I started panning. Now, if I'm filming somebody, running across the field, in football, that kind of thing, like a player, if I'm tracking using the AI tracking feature or trying to follow them, and it comes across the speck on that window, it's going to focus on that speck, and it's going to make the player or whatever the field look blurry. And that's what I'm getting at. It loses focus and things on the outside exterior of the window rather than on the interior, the window itself. It's annoying, and that really bothered me a lot. That the whole autofocusing and things like that, it has issues there. I tried messaging the OBSBOT to ask them about the autofocus, if there's a way to turn it off. They said, yeah, there is within the app, and I couldn't find anything. I'm going to play around with the app some more, as well as the camera, to see if I can figure that out. But as of now, as I'm recording this video, I can't find a way to turn off that autofocus feature, and it has a tendency of focusing on that window a lot. Now, that's not a deal breaker either. In fact, I hate filming inside the press box. I've hardly ever, in fact, I haven't recorded once inside of a press box, and the reason for that is because, one, I hate filming behind a window because of the glare, the focusing, and also I don't like the noise in there. I feel claustrophobic. There's a lot of problems. I just don't like filming inside of a press box anyways. So that's fine. However, again, it's not weatherproof, and from what I could tell, and so therefore I'm going to have to use the camera as much as possible inside the press box if I can, so that's going to be an issue. If it's going to continue to focus on the window and things like that, then I'm not going to be able to use this camera for football and sports and things outside, because I definitely don't want to use it too much in windy or dusty situations and things, and that kind of stuff. From what I understand, there is a small business out there that exists that makes a weather coat for the camera to make it a little bit more weatherproof. It's an expensive little coat, but it claims that the camera can still move and operate just fine with that coat on. So you can check that out if you wanted to. I have no idea how that works, that coat and things, but somebody out there invented one. And I think for that very reason, because you can't really use it outside. Now, the last con, and this is probably, like I said, it goes hand in hand with the focusing and things. This is probably the biggest problem that I have with the camera is the zooming. It has a digital zoom and not an optical zoom. I didn't really know too much about the differences up until now. Again, I'm not a tech nerd or anything by any means. I don't know my technology and cameras and stuff. Again, I wish I would have done a lot more research before I purchased it. But there's a big difference between digital zoom and optical zoom. What I mean is that this is a digital zoom. It doesn't actually physically zoom in, zoom in. It basically takes the picture and it crops it down, and that's its version of zooming, okay? And so all it's doing when I'm zooming in on the field, say a player running or whatever, it's just going to take that player and crop it in onto that player. And when you're cropping in on something, especially at a long, far distance, like a player, it's going to make that person or object become blurry and pixelated and that kind of thing, and it won't give you the best image at all. So I really, really hate that a lot. I depend a lot on zooming in. For those that have watched my live streams and things before, and especially my football games and stuff that I've recorded, I do a lot of zooming in on players and the action and stuff. And so using this camera for zooming in and for football and that kind of thing, it's going to be a thumbs down. It's not going to be what I was hoping it would be. So I'm therefore going to have to use this camera in other means, other ways, as far as recording and live streaming football, unfortunately. So as of now, I'm still stuck with having to hold my bladder or find somebody, an assistant or somebody, to take control of the camera while, if I have to step away from the camera, that kind of thing. Again, I was hoping that this camera would operate as an assistant and allow me to step away from the camera if I need to or whatever. And it still can if you're indoors or something like that. But for somebody like me that does a lot of outdoor kind of recording and stuff, it's not going to work out. But overall, it's the overall review of this camera. And again, I apologize about the length of this video. The overall review is 50-50. I give it a 50%, over 50. 50% I like and 50% I don't. And you guys may or may not agree with me on that, but a majority of that is just due to me not being able to use it for what I wanted to use it. And I really hate that. I really do. I really, really wish that the website had mentioned that it's not good to use for sports. I think they need to put on there an asterisk or something, not intended for outdoor sports, kind of thing or whatever. But I think they want you to purchase it hoping and thinking, like I did, that you could use it for just about anything, but you can't. It's not for every single thing, especially if you do zooming in and zooming out and stuff. But other than that, I really do like it. I really think it has a lot of potential, a lot of uses for indoors and stuff. I mean, obviously, this live stream that I'm doing right now, it is definitely a really good. It's fulfilling its purpose. It's doing a good job. So that's it for the video, guys. Again, sorry for the lengthy video and everything. Sorry if it's too much complaining for you guys to hear and to endure. But I really do hope you guys are able to take something from this video. I especially am happy if I'm able to help some of you guys or give you guys a better, clear understanding of it. But I will be doing some more videos using this camera in the future, so stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel, so that way you could be notified when I do make some more videos using this camera and things like that. I do have a wedding reception coming up soon that I will be filming. I'll definitely be using this camera to film that wedding reception and things like that. So stay tuned in the future for more videos and things, so you guys could see, get some more thoughts and input from me on what I think of the camera. Until then, well, take care.